You got me by I think one or two maybe on the overall on that one, but I mean, I just didn't understand it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you got a top defense going against quote unquote a top offense. I got to say this about Kyler Murray, and I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you a little later on, but with Kyler Murray, man, listen, he's going against Aaron Donald, that rush. They got the best corners in the league with Troy Hill and Jalen Ramsey. They're just a really stout team. It looks like we got something going on in the Baltimore game. What?
Deep touchdown.
Oh,
they brought in a different quarterback.
Yeah. Man, that sucks. now I got to check my damn fantasy league, make sure I'm still winning. If Don ends up beating me, I'm going to be so pissed.
It's 19-14.
Bastards.
That gives me an extra point, though. I do get the Tucker point.
I'm still up by 2 with... Okay, just run the ball. Just run the ball. Let's get some first downs. All right, let's move on, though, real quick. So the Rams, listen, Jalen Ramsey, Troy Hill, both solid cornerbacks. They're going to be guarding D-Hop. Obviously, I'm going to talk why I don't like D-Hop this week. I don't like Kyler Murray this week. You're going to think I'm crazy. But I'm telling you, again, I go by matchups. And I'm telling you, Kyler Murray's shoulder, there's more to it than what the stories sound.
The numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
When you talk fantasy football, you have to go by the numbers that are there. The matchups, what the statistics are. That is the only way. And all the pros the same way. That's how fantasy is projected. And that's why it's called a projection.
Yeah. In the words of my man, Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. All right, let's talk a little. Your New York Giants versus the Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks. Yeah, what are you thinking? Is this where the Giants become midgets?
If Vanilla Vic was playing, I would like this game a little more. I say this with the way that Seattle played against the Eagles, I would say that they were totally beatable. They're playing in Seattle, which is at this moment it will not matter because COVID 2020, the home team advantage doesn't matter in the NFL this year. I think Seattle's going to win this game, honestly, even though I am a diehard Giants fan. If they don't, it'll surprise the hell out of me. I don't think McCoy... I think the coaching staff of the Giants is going to put together a good game plan for Colt McCoy. I just don't think he's going to execute.
What do you think? Seahawks...
I still like Wayne Gallman this week. I think they're going to try to run him heavy because he's going to get over 20 carries this game, guaranteed. Yep. Seattle doesn't stop the run very well.
I got Mike Davis on a bye, so I'm rolling with Gallman as well. I agree with you. My only concern is this. My only concern is Seattle is so explosive. Just like the Eagles last week, if they get up to a large lead, I just hope that the Giants don't go away from the run game as a Wayne Gallman owner. But I agree with you. I agree with you there. And I will say this. Do I think 10 is a high line? I do. Do I think the Seahawks cover? I actually do. But Colt McCoy is not the worst backup option in the NFL.
No, he played well in Washington when he had his opportunity. I was excited that they signed him as their backup. It's hard to gauge because now he's going to have a full week of practice with the number ones, which he didn't have coming into that game. He wasn't not expecting to go in the game. Obviously, as always, not every backup comes in and lights it up. So you can't expect that to happen. I don't know. The coaching staff this year for the Giants has done a good job of coming up with game plans to win, to keep them in games and let their players succeed. I think that they're going to try their hardest with him and hope for the best. I don't have all the faith in the world in Cole. I don't think he's as bad as people say, but also Seattle has the potential to change that game very quickly with how quickly they can score. And that's the other thing with Seattle is they've been a Jekyll and Hyde type team this year too. They
except
look
for
like
the last 4 weeks, their defense is like somehow.
Yeah, well, they've added a pass rusher, and they got Jamal Adams now playing safety, who has been their only pass rusher. Yeah. Even though they added a pass rusher,
Carlos Dunlap though is injured.
Yeah, Dunlap's injured. Okay.
He had an MRI today.
All right, so listen, but the Jamal Adams they're using as like a pass rusher type safety. They're just sending them all the time.
So wide receivers for the Seahawks, who do you like more, Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf?
I honestly think that you're going to see Bradbury go with Lockett.
On Lockett.
So that would mean that Metcalf would have the better day. I don't know. That's my guess is that from what I'm seeing is that he'll probably shadow Lockett based off the speed.
Yeah. See, that sucks because I'm a Lockett owner.
You are. And I'm
like,
a Metcalf owner.
And I'm due. I'm due, so Bradbury.
I mean, what do you mean you're due? Like, the first
I'm
6
due for
weeks, you
Tyler
broke
Lockett.
records.
I know, but...
I mean, fantasy points out the ass for that guy.
I traded for him, and I've gotten one good game from the dude. So
since you traded for him, I was gonna say because he started off on fire. They were lighting up the scoreboard, like you said. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
First 8 weeks of season, you're fine. But after that,
exactly.
That's
right. If you need a quarterback for 8 weeks, he's your guy.
He's your guy.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Packers Eagles. So I got to talk a little bit about this. So same thing as last week. If you're a Miles Sanders owner, I like Miles Sanders because Green Bay gives up a lot to running backs. They're the 4th most generous team in all of football when it comes to fantasy running backs in general. I think they're getting over like 20 points a game. Here's why I don't like Miles Sanders.
So you have why? I was going to say because I have a why I don't like him this week.
I don't like Miles Sanders with the fact that Green Bay is so explosive offensively. If this game gets to be a 14-0, a 17-0, a 20-0, it's going to be a lot of Boston Scott. They like Boston Scott with no huddle. He's a better pass blocker than Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders, I don't know what happened. Last year, the dude could catch, he caught everything. This year, it hits him in the damn face, and he's like, oh, you threw it to me? Is the guy concussed? Can we get that tested? I don't know what's going on with this guy. So that's my reasoning with Miles Sanders. Dallas Goedert looks like Zach Ertz is going to play. So for you owners out there, you're going to see a split there. But I love Devontae Adams, and I love Aaron Rodgers. I love him more than Danica did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't love him very much.
I know, clearly.
It did last. So.
Yeah. But looks like
maybe he didn't give her the discount double check.
Yeah, right. But it looks like the spread here is 8.5, so I like the Packers in that matchup.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think that the Green Bay is going to score fast and often, like they have been doing all season. Mm-hmm. The Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams combo has not been able to be stopped by anybody. I don't see the Eagles doing that.
We're
out
of all
teams.
Die Eagles die.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going Green Bay in this game. I don't like Sanders because I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to get out of hand. I think they're going to bring in Boston Scott. They're going to have to run no huddle, which they honestly did better with the no huddle last week than they did.
Yeah,
the Eagles. They did better.
They had some flashes where you're like, okay, they're moving the ball.
They look like the Eagles did because the Eagles have talent. I mean, they're not.
I hate their head coach.
I don't like their head coach. I think he's a douche. I don't like Carson Wentz. But honestly, that team has Pro Bowl talent. Yeah. On both sides of the football. They're very injured too,
People look, but the thing about that, people look at Doug Peterson and say, well, this guy just won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. No, he didn't win shit. Frank Wright, who's the head coach of the Colts, he was the play caller. He was the play schemer. The offense that Doug Peterson runs is his offense that he learned from Andy Reid. It was Frank Wright that kept Nick Foles in the game, making those moves and making him look like Joe Montana. He was the second coming to Jesus Christ for that game. So it's just nuts.
Big Dick Nick.
I don't know about that, but
that's what they say.
All right, let's talk a little bit about my New England Patriots versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
I mean, so I'll start with this because you're obviously biased. So, I mean, we talked about New England, Arizona last week, and I think we both projected Arizona to win that game, right?
We did.
And I think you said on the show that it was going to be a 10-point game at least.
That's what I thought.
New England would not get it. Well, New England won the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I said it was going to be a field goal game. What happened?
But hold on, can I interject? I actually did go to church on Sunday.
You did?
So,
that changes the whole thing.
100%.
Are you going to church this weekend?
No.
So I'm still picking New England on this weekend.
You're picking the Pats.
I mean, you're coming out. That's a big win for me. Although, if Cam Newton plays 88 yards.
Yeah, 86 yards.
86 yards.
Yeah, 9 of 18 for 86.
And they fucking won the football game.
It's so annoying.
That is the most.
We should have lost.
That is the most annoying stat line I have ever heard in my life. I mean,
he basically threw it right at the defender and said, "I bet you can't catch this," and that defender caught it. I don't trust Cam Newton when it comes to the fourth quarter. And I just read a stat line that says that he actually was limited in practice today with an abdominal strain. So, listen, Bill Belichick's already committed to him for the rest of the year. That Cam's the guy. I disagree. I think at some point when you're eliminated from playoff contention, you roll with Stidham, you give him a shot, see what you got. But again, I don't have 6 Super Bowls to show Bill obviously does. Listen, Justin Herbert, I'm playing him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Keenan Allen, you're playing him. He's going to have
yeah.
a phenomenal day. I'm going to talk a little bit about Mike Williams, Hunter Henry a little bit later on.
I think you can make a case for Eckler this week.
I agree.
Off a big week.
I agree.
His first week back. But all the experts are saying sit him. A lot of experts are saying sit Eckler this week. From the ones I was reading.
Are those experts named Derek Cardinal?
Is that what are you a sit him? Are you a sit him Austin Eckler? This week?
I have Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
No, I have him top 10. I know I do.
Top 10?
Yeah, so I have Austin Eckler. I think the Patriots are vulnerable when it comes to rushing the ball. I have him. Yeah, so I have him number 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I have him easily number 5.
I said my point was that I like him this week.
Yeah.
Obviously Keenan Allen or Mike Williams are good plays. Herbert's a good play. I still think it depends on what happens with the quarterbacks. If they run the football like they did last week, they'll be all right. If they get the turnovers like they did, they'll be all right. This game, I like New England, but I wouldn't be surprised to see LA have an upset here.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Justin Herbert, his 2021 draft stock for fantasy football is just going to continue to rise. So I agree with you. I expect the Patriots to win, but because I'm expecting it, we'll lose by 10. So that's just been it for the Patriots this year. All right, let's move on. So you got the Broncos and the Chiefs. What I'm going to say is it's going to be a blowout. Tyreek Hill, my number 1 fantasy wide receiver. I think he's still going to play well. They don't have Harris as a cornerback anymore. He's had 5 touchdowns in 4 weeks. Obviously, he had a monster week last week. Pat Mahomes really like him. I don't like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Listen, the shares, he's averaging 8.5 touches in the last 5 weeks. I don't like
the shares, and they're just not running the football because they're not. They can just go away from it because they're not doing it well.
Yeah, go away. Yeah, so I agree with that. And as far as Broncos, who are you really playing?
Melvin Gordon this week. I have him on my move in actually.
Yeah,
but that's only based on some numbers and that matchup.
Yeah, in a league where I'm out of it, I might play Cortland Sutton. Just in case. I know he's out for the year with a torn ACL. I might just throw him in there. You never know. Maybe he catches a ball on the sideline and I can get a stat correction. So
Drew Lock is back.
Yes, I do like the Lockster. I actually like Drew Lock as a quarterback. And I know Denver seems to be hit or miss on him. I think the kid can throw a nice ball. I just think you got to protect him better.
Yeah,
so
they struggle a little bit there.
Yeah. Washington football team against what looks to be the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm hoping that's a first down. I missed it, but Pittsburgh looks like they're giving 8.5. I will say I'm taking Washington to meet the spread. I think Washington lose the game, but I think 8.5 is a very high margin against that football team that just ran all over the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I think. They did run all over him. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the Steelers like they did against the Cowboys.
Agreed.
Steelers' defense is top notch. I don't know. I can see this. I can see Pittsburgh covering the spread in this game. Honestly, I think it's going to be Pittsburgh's receiving core is going to be too much to handle for Washington's defense.
Yeah.
Although here's what I'll say is if Washington's front 5 gets to Ben a lot like they can, I think then they're not covering the spread. But if they are able to protect Big Ben, give him time to hit those receivers, I think that receiving core is too good.
I agree. I just don't think that Pittsburgh beats them by 8.5. I do like the football team a lot. I think that with Alex Smith, they move the ball pretty well. I do think it would be more of a J.D. McKissick over Gibson. But, I would say pay attention to the weather because things could change. You got the last game. So, we got 2 more. You got the Niners versus the Bills. Stat line, Niners are getting 2.5. Over is 48. I like Josh Allen. I like Deebo Samuel this week.
Yeah.
Bills are very vulnerable to the slot, so I think he's going to have a great game.
I like
Diggs.
Well, I always like Diggs. Yeah. He's always a must play. But actually, if Mostert's back playing, I actually like him against the Bills this week.
I'll say this about Diggs. Is I worry if he's covered by Jason Verrett. The guy's got the league's lowest passer rating to opposing quarterbacks. So if he shadows Diggs, I worry about that matchup. I actually think Cole Beasley could have a game here. if especially if John Brown doesn't go. And